Alrighty guys, welcome one and all. Smash that like button, ladies and gents. Alrighty guys, hope we're all doing well. Let's get the show on the road as per usual. That time of day guys, good morning, good afternoon, and as always, very good evening no matter where you are around the world. Hope we're all doing well guys. Welcome to another London session on this Tuesday. So looking forward to see what we've got here today. The charts look okay. I mean, I can see some potential on GJ, both maybe upside and downside to be honest. Gold at the moment prefer to sells. Well obviously we'll do the analysis shortly. In the meantime guys, if you could smash the like button, don't be shy, say good day. If you have any questions, any charts, any P you'd like me to analyze, I will send that in and I'll promptly do so once I've done the analysis and we've got a bit of a game plan moving forward. Let's quickly look at the news moving forward today. Nothing really in regards to our session. There's some high impact news to come during NY session. So that's a lot later on, but otherwise should be pretty smooth sailing in regards to the news. It could be breaking news, as we know, but other than that, as far as the schedule news, it's pretty clean for us today. So without further ado, I want to get the analysis out of the way. Moving forward, let's have a look first of all at, as always, a GJ. We'll start with GJ, and looking at the weekly time frame, what we can see is the current weekly is forming a strong bearish candle. Previous weekly was a weak bearish candle, and what we obviously do have is candles with creating a lower high, lower low, the current candle to that previous candle. So what we're going to do is mark in the current candle's low. If we were to break that candle's low, we obviously would have formed some minor support at that level. There's a high probability that we could make another push to the downside. So I mentioned yesterday, potentially all the way down towards that 190.50 at some point. Doesn't necessarily all have to happen this week. On to the daily time frame, and still technically bullish, believe it or not. We've still closed above this swing point here. As long as we continue to close above, we're still going to be bullish. But what we may have is we may have that catalyst at the end of today's candle closure. But so long as we continue to close above that 193.70, we are still technically bullish. But what we do have is the current candle, lower high, lower low to that previous candle, breaking all of that previous weekly candle. Let's just mark in the high of the current candle and see if there is any sort of catalyst above that level to potentially look for some buys. We can see we're at a very strong level of support on the higher time frame. So still technically bullish on the daily. The 4-hour is definitely bearish. So the current daily count is low, not yet formed support, but we're still starting to pop back above these wicks to the left. So that daily support area, we're just going to mark in the lows for the time being. I'll change it to gray. And as far as the most recent resistance, we've got the daily candle high. So I'm just going to mark in that level there. Now, below the current daily candle's low, it looks like we have some pretty clean traffic down towards that 191, 950, 192 flat. So there is, by the looks of it, some margin for us to look for the continuation sells. In line with the structure, we are continuing to create lower lows, lower highs. We've got the daily candle probabilities to the downside as well. Now what we can see in the M30, that is also technically bearish at the moment. Just going to adjust that zone a little bit. We're technically bearish, but we have formed a resistance just above the support just here on the 30-minute time frame, which we could be about to break and close above. If we do so, still don't yet have that confirmation of support forming on the 4-hour. However, we'll be breaking the high very shortly, likely to break the high very shortly of that previous 4-hour candle. So seeing we've bounced back at the current daily candle's low, bounced off the support, if we were to close above, would be some potential options, guys, for a counter trend buy. It's going to be against the bias. Bias is 3 versus 1 to the downside, but with the clean traffic to the left and breaking the most recent resistance formed within the current daily candle, if we were to break it, there's a high probability we could make a deeper pullback. Now, for me to consider that as an entry, what would validate that is definitely a closure above a retest, and then look to enter as price begins to break the high of the catalyst candle. So you guys get the picture. So we'll not look to take an impulse entry, seeing it is against the structure and against the bias. We'll not look to take a limit order entry. I'd want to see price tap back in, reject, and begin to bounce off if I was to consider that entry. However, seeing we are at the resistance, we could also plan for potential sells. Now, if this M30 closes very weak bullish in the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds, then we are rejecting the most recent resistance form within the current daily candle. We are technically bearish on the 30-minute. The bias is technically bearish. Potentially, it could have just grabbed a little bit more liquidity before we reject and head back down towards the current daily candle's low. So I would be looking for potential options below the resistance here. If it closes too strong bullish, now I'm just going to need to wait for that, either the engulfing candle or a minor support scenario, pulling out the resistance, and if I have the margin, essentially look to sell based on that. Obviously further sells from higher up, guys. If it does just pop up and I'm not involved in the buy option, I consider sells from higher up. Still going to be bearish in the structure on the 30s. Bias is still technically bearish, so to me it makes absolutely perfect sense to look for sells from higher up and from that 4-hour resistance. And look, if we pop back down to the lows yet again and respect the support, we may potentially look for a buy as well, guys. It's pretty simple stuff, really. Just a matter of waiting for our catalyst to present at either of the levels that we want to get involved in a trade. And that's what we'll pretty much be doing, guys. So we've got 3 and a bit minutes left on GJ. That is the plan right now. Let's quickly shift our attention to gold, just in case it does give a potential option in the next few minutes. Doesn't look likely, but nonetheless, let's have a look. Weekly pulled back quite significantly within that previous candle, and often this is what happens when you have a candle closing irrespective of the time frame with no upper wick. A lot of the time you're going to see it pull back quite strongly against that previous candle, which is what we've done so far. We're well below that 50% by the looks of it. But just a matter of interest, let's just mark in the 50% of that candle. Let's see if we've formed a minor resistance below that level. So we are still bullish based off that previous candle, but what we do have is counter probabilities on a daily to the downside, strong bearish engulfing. Also got the structure to the downside in the daily. Let's mark in the current day's high and let's mark in the current daily candle's low and see what we've got either side of that. Looks like if we were to break the low, there's a good chance we could make a deeper pullback. Looks like if we would break the high, there's a good chance we could make a deeper correction as well. What I am seeing on the 4-hour time frame is we are technically still bullish and we have respected this support. We did wick well below it, only to close back above it. So have we just grabbed a little bit more liquidity from the downside? So just gonna mark in this whole level. We'll likely be adjusting it shortly. As far as resistance, I'll wait for the 30. So we are bullish in a 4-hour, bullish still on the weekly. M30 is technically bullish, guys. So the bias is, look, technically to the upside, but I can see potential for obviously both the buys and sells based off the strength of the current weekly candle, which is forming a very strong bearish candle. I see options to either direction. Now for me, I'd be including that resistance, and we are, as long as we remain below this resistance here on the M30, then we are remain below 50% of that previous weekly candle. So therefore, I would still consider the sellers to be in holding a strength within the current weekly candle. If we were to pull back up, only to reject, and we can look for our potential sell catalyst from up near the resistance. So sells below. Now what I can see is within the current daily candle, we have most recently formed support at this 2618 level. So if we were to pop below, what we can see is we've got some clean traffic to the left, and that could also be a further sell entry. If we do begin to break that support, the likely next destination is the current daily candle's low. So that's another option. Buys above the support potentially, just depends if we have the margin. Just trying to knock this on the head quickly before the closure of this candle. And aside from that, we may consider buys at the support lower down, but definitely considering the sells upon continuation. It's also, you probably would just drag this down now because it's a 15-minute support as well, like so. We'll include the wick on the M30, and that is gold, guys. So that's what I'm looking at right now. GJ is about to close above, guys, so it could be potential options. Need an upper wick, need a pullback, not entering just now. Needs to tap into that zone, retest it. If it does so, then I may set a sell stop back above the high, and there's a good way you can manage this trade quite easily. But did tag you in and break its own low again, you definitely consider cutting partials, if not the whole thing. So if it breaks its own high, which is at the 30 level, so around 315, has it tapped into anything? Not quite. Really wants to tap into that zone, and we've not yet had a pause. All right, so we've tapped in. Now let me quickly check gold again. Oh, GJ, there we go as well. I haven't set the order. Wow, that was quick. I'm not in. Did not get a chance to set it, guys. I'm doubting it, to be honest. I think this is all happening a little bit too quickly. I want to maybe see a bit of a pause within price action just now to trust it more. Yeah, that's what I'm likely going to be doing. I'm going to reassess and wait for a 15-minute pause and then see what if we get that option, and then I'm going to trust them more, because if it comes straight from the lows, are we just sweeping the resistance here to grab a little bit more liquidity before we head back down potentially? Yeah, so I'm just going to chill on GJ. All right, in the meantime, who have we got here today? Franco, good morning to you. As always, great to have you on the stream, brother. Hope you're well. Tony Gold, grand rising to you. Friends, good morning, mate. Steve, morning to you. Beats, Rick, off to work, like stream. Nice one, brother. Thank you for popping on to give the stream a like. Everyone else, don't be shy to say g'day. If you are running GJ entries just now, what I would do is I just drag the stop loss to above the entry, just below the entry candle. There is a fair bit of volume in the first few minutes of this candle though. Still no trade yet for me this week. Didn't trade MI yesterday. Thank you for this up. But we're looking to continue on our merry way. 7 wins in a row, 6 last week, the one during the week prior to that, so it makes it 7 in a row. So we're just going to be patient, because as we know, patience definitely pays. We come up with our plan and we just wait for our potential option to react if and when the time comes. So GJ, want to see a little bit of a pause just here. Like I mentioned, if anyone is running GJ buys at the moment, what I'd be doing right now is just dragging the stop loss to above the entry candle. Seeing it's pulled back a few times to this level, if it was to continue bullish, there really is no need for it to pull back, break its own low, retest the waters in a range below that 193.20. And if it does, then likely what we may be doing just now is grabbing that little bit more liquidity, or we potentially reject and head back down towards the current daily candles low. So my bias is still bearish. I'm still preferring the sell options, and I'm not stressed, not panicking, not anxious, no FOMO, nothing. Because if it does pop up, even better. If it makes a clean move up, then I know I'm going to be looking for my potential rejection, or the sellers with a lot more margin to be playing within as well. So still plenty of options available if you're not in a trade just now. And if you are in trade, get ready to maybe secure, get to break even, consider getting to break even. Going up to, no. Members, guys, sorry, I should let you guys in, shouldn't I? Oops. All right, members, just sent the link. All right, let me have a look at some of the analysis from the guys in a group. Always the same names. Franco, looking at GU. Okay, so you're looking at potential sales from resistance, a little bit choppy in this current area. Not sure if you're going to quite have the margin to sell from that level, but you may. But obviously a sales below this support. If it does confirm that lower high just now, begin to pop below that support, that will give that confirmation. So if it did that and rejected, then we've got the clean traffic to the left. There's a good chance it's going to come back down towards this 125, 250 sort of level. And as for the buys above, yeah, I can see the counter trend option. Once again, I'm not sure if you're going to have the margin, but if you don't, then obviously be waiting for rejection of that resistance again for potential sells, similar to what I just mentioned on GJ. So that's some analysis on GU. EU, Mr. Phil's looking for an entry. Looks fantastic, by the way. EU was really good yesterday. We called a nice entry on EU. We called a nice entry on GU as well. But EU looks very similar to where I was at yesterday. So this looks really good. You've got a minor pause forming on the hourly, a weak bullish candle. So if price was to begin to break the low of that candle, may have already done so, then that would be a really nice entry. Like those charts, let's quickly have a look at it on from my end here. Let's have a look at EU to begin with. Yeah, EU looks good, looks better on the hourly. You could possibly be in EU sells, you'd be stuck in a couple bit drawdown at the moment. But as far as a catalyst win price action, as far as a signal, as far as an entry, this would tick the box in accordance to my entry rules. So stop loss would be either above, you can either put it above the swing high or above that previous candle's high. GU, let's quickly look at it here. Also looking pretty good for sells. The previous hourly closed a nice candle, 30, closing a 30 below the support. Not sure how this candle opened. It may have popped down before popping up. That's the case. If it breaks so low again, GU looks good for some options to sell it, in my opinion. I'd be looking at GU sells and EU sells. So looking good. GJ, if you did take a GJ trade, you're probably out break even. You had followed. Again, I didn't get the entry, missed it. Not bothered, because I'd rather wait for a bit of a pause, to be honest, either way. And if we were to close back below, we will be looking for, I don't know about you guys, but I'll be looking for a catalyst to look for a potential sell back below that resistance at 193.20. 18 viewers, 18 likes, pretty good ratio. Not enough viewers though. For the stream that just keeps on producing, and that's all you get on stream. I have no idea what they're missing out on, guys. Wait till they come next year, and then and then, you know, they're knocking down the door. Where were you last year, guys? That's what I'll say to them. Missed out on a full year of education, free education. Mothio, when should you enter EU for sells? Well, you're not in an EU sell right now, and I mean, this is not a signal, it's not financial advice, but I'd probably look to enter as it breaks so low again. Ian, good morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. Matthew, no worries, all good. If you look at Bitcoin, so it's made a bit of a pullback from the highs. Pulled back by the looks of it about 5% roughly. Nice point. Yeah, just over around 7%. So in my opinion, just a healthy correction. On Bitcoin, I am still very bullish on it personally. Still could come back down a little bit further, but it could also create that high low just now. If it does close bullish on today's candle, then there's a good chance it will pull back up to retest the high. So could this just be trying to shake out or panic some people into selling out of their bags? Perhaps, who knows? 4 hours looking still quite strong in my opinion. Still bullish on the 4 hours as well. It formed a nice support on the previous candle. This current candle broke its own high. Good chance coming back up towards that 98 sort of range at some point, perhaps throughout the day. 30-minute structure is bearish, and that suggests we could potentially come back down towards the current day's low. So just a healthy correction on Bitcoin. I still think it's very, very bullish. Right, so GJ, now the option that could present is this candle closes up near its high, we get a bit of a weak pause on the next M15. That was to be the case, we could look for potential buy options above what will be the 30-minute candle high, and at that point we would have had a bit of a pause. We still yet to have a pause, so all good. We can just wait patiently and see. Looks like it's making a move just now. Yeah, all good. It would have been a break-even trade. Yeah, I'm assuming if you don't mind if I did take it, to be honest. But all good. Oh, you're a CAD looking pretty good. Approaching a resistance here to the left though, so could be a little bit of a tricky level to be looking to buy into. I mean, otherwise I can see some nice potential sell options as well below the 4-hour resistance, so let's just quickly mark that in. I just drag that up. Good. So Euro CAD, what would be really nice is if it pops up to the 4-hour resistance, rejects, and starts to pop below the most recent support. And there's a good chance of coming back down towards that 147.60, whether or not you got the margin or not, that remains to be seen, but that could be a potential entry point for sells. And there's going to be further potential sells from a little bit lower down, and also buyers if price did respect that 147.50 sort of level. Sells below, buys above. All right, let's how the 15 closing JJ. Close strong. Pretty much tapping into a target here to the left. Yeah, it's a tough one, guys, because I prefer to sell it in all honesty with the actual bias itself. See gold on my MetaTrader is just not moved, so let's keep it on JJ for the time being, guys. If anyone has questions, feel free. If anyone wants me to check out any chart, let me know.
Hey, good morning, Justin.
Franco, good morning, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good.
What about you?
Good, brother. Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Everything is okay. Good to hear.
That's it, mate. You're looking at GU today. I'm assuming that. Are you in a trade right now, or are you?
No, unfortunately not. It was looking good because it popped up at the beginning.
Yep.
And then it popped down. But something took me away from this trade. I don't know. So my intuition.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because yesterday, I missed the trade.
Yeah.
It was more or less also the same circumstances.
Yeah, very similar.
The support, and yeah, I don't know. The issue for me is on the left side. You see this big bearish candle there. There must be some news. because on EU and also gold,
Yeah.
prices went down, and therefore at the end, over on the M30, I'm see a bullish structure. So on a higher time frame, there are bearish structures there.
Yep.
But for me, I see some bullish structure on the M30 time frame.
All right. Yeah.
So, and therefore, I'm willing to take some buys on the at the resistance area,
Yeah.
a little bit higher, which you have marked the recent resistance on the M30.
Around here.
Yeah, correct. This one.
Yeah.
So, and there's more or less 10 pips margin.
Yep.
And I'm willing to take some buys at that area.
Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, as long as you can get your, you know, decent stop loss as well.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it technically bearish on a 30. That was off the back of news from a Trump speech that wasn't scheduled news, but all the majors took a bit of a dump off the back of I think Trump announced tariffs as soon as he's into office again on Canada, China, and Mexico. He announced some tariffs.
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah, so it's off that because all the majors took down. That was early my time, so 10:30 a.m. my time today, which is evening over in America. So yeah, so that's what that was about.
Yeah.
EU did the same. AU also did the same. So Trump just warming up his seat.
But can I explain, Justin, why I see the market structure on the M30?
Yeah, go for it.
Bullish. So now I need to have my you are on the Forex. Maybe it's a little bit different.
All right, you're on which broker? I wonder.
Yeah, Wanda.
Oh, whoops. Hold on. Yeah, go for it.
So, and yeah, so you see the highest point here at your charts right now.
Just this point here.
This one.
Yep.
So this for me is the clear indicator why we are bullish, because if you are looking on the left side, more on the left side, here on the screen, which you see more on the left, a little bit more.
Over here.
So this was for me the point, yeah, which we go down. So which we have then this bearish structure. So and we close above that bearish structure. So therefore, my understanding is that we are here in a bullish structure on the M30.
All right, so I'll look at it and say that's the origin of the lowest of the swing to the downside, because you got a pullback here, multiple candles. That's obviously the low. Obviously you got closures above here. You could argue it's flipped back bearish here, but then it's obviously closed back above these highs at this point here, so it's flipped the structure bullish. Flip back bearish down here, it's created a low just here. So I would say as long as it really remains below this swing point, it's technically bearish, irrespective of what chart you're looking at, because it looks to be the same pretty much on Forex.com as well. That's how I see it.
Okay.
But I understand what you mean, and basically it's just trading within a 4-hour range, and what you've done is bounced off this support, create a high. If you create the high low now, close above the high, create the higher high, then I definitely understand why you'd be looking for the entry, but just I see it technically as still bearish.
Okay.
But as I always mention, as I mentioned in yesterday's education session, irrespective of the bias and structure, we need to determine, more importantly, where we are on the chart and if it's best to look for a buy or a sell option. And maybe in that case, the buy option would make more sense. So
yeah, absolutely. And what took you off to not take the buy?
GJ, well, it's come from the lows, and it happened too quick. I mean, I literally set gold, or not set gold, looked at gold, flip. GJ popped up, down, it was a bit all over the shop, but now it's just made the move. So either way, I would have been out break even, I'm sure, because it went to about 8 pip profit and then it pulled all the way back into drawdown. So I would have likely gotten to break even.
Yeah, there was some big movements.
Correct.
In this 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Understood.
But I'm definitely considering gold sells in 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes, if this candle closed below. Now, one issue may be stop loss, so let's just measure it. It's going to be quite a wide one, so we need this again. It's going to have to be based off the new candle forming a decent upper wick. Now, I'd prefer to tap in towards the high of that zone, close to it, before looking for an entry, because we're going to be running at a more than 60 pip stop loss at the moment. It can't drop now. It can't completely melt, because otherwise it's just not going to be worth it. There is no limit order in my opinion. You've got a bit of a pause here, but it's not really trending. In my opinion, it's just coming from consolidation. So the limit order is less probable. Let's quickly have another look at GJ. Yeah, so let's focus on gold. Focus on gold, guys. Now, what we want to see, because we're coming from the consolidation, we want to see, again, the upper wick retesting this zone, and that's likely going to have to be our stop loss. The other thing you could do is just have a stop loss just above that zone, and as soon as the new candle creates a decent upper wick, you can just adjust it really to just above that candle high. But what I really like to see is, like I mentioned, the new candle pull back towards the high of that zone, almost back into that range above, and then rejecting. So I'm looking for a potential sell just a bit below the catalyst candle, which will be this candle. But in order to validate the entry, we need the upper wick. So whatever the lowest point of your broker is on this candle, consider looking for options just below it. So in IC markets, it's at the moment it's 56. It's 26, 16, 56. So I'd be looking around 26, 16, 40. Looks like it's about to create a lower low. And it has. I need a low wick, and I need this candle to have low wick, and I need the upper wick tapping and rejecting that zone. That's going to be the stop loss. 26.15.86 to 26.15.70 would be a potential entry. Well, it's popped down. I need it to pop back up, and it's going to go without us, which I can't do a thing about, guys. I'm not taking that without the upper wick. Once again, not going to force my way into it. There's no FOMO. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. If not retested that zone would come from consolidation. If you are taking it, all good. I understand, but again, I'm just going to be strict to my rules. It's not an entry without the wick. So we're just going to reassess. We're going to wait. See where we're at for session open now. So if we pull back and tap in, tough one, guys. It's like fine tuning. I always say it's like fine tuning one of those old tube TVs where you get the static and you're so close to getting it like the perfect picture, but you just press that button for a little bit too long and then you get that static appearing again. that's kind of like what trading is to me, in all honesty. It's just fine tuning, getting to that point where you get that optimal signal, and at the moment I just don't have it. It's close. It looked like it could line up and potentially give that option, but unfortunately it's lacking one important thing. That's that wick, and it's also lacking the tap into that zone coming from the consolidation. So for me, it's just not perfect, which is, for again, can be frustrating. For me, it's not frustrating, it just means there's no entry. Last week I had 6 confirmations during the time I was on the chart. So far this week I've had none, so it's just how it is, guys. Derek, I keep blowing accounts. Any advice? How your trading journey in the beginning? Very much the same, to be honest, mate. I'm glad that you're admitting it. That's the first step. So for me, I did the same sort of thing, trading based off emotion, FOMO. For instance, I'd definitely been gold in the past, and yeah, in this case would have secured some pips, but more often than not, it would have just been a bad entry and forced entry and would have been stopped out. Then I would have done the stupid thing and try to sell it again. 2 minutes later, get stopped out again. So I've been there, I've done all that. But to be honest, you just need to be fed up with your own stupidity and self-sabotage, and that looks like what you're kind of doing now. You're by admitting to it. So what you need is a plan, my friend. You need a solid plan. You need a plan from the very beginning to the very end of your trading day. So that should include everything from how much you're going to risk per trade per day, what pair you're going to trade, a bit about your edge, your strategy, what you are to look for, what are your catalysts, what are your rules, what are your signals, that type of thing. And then you really need to stick to it. You need to stick to it for a minimum a few months, gather enough data to then prove to yourself whether it is worth pursuing that particular strategy, or whether you might want to, maybe you might just need a little bit more fine tuning, or maybe you might want to try out something else. But you need to give it, do your own due diligence, give it time. Best thing would be to start, respect a small account, trade a small account, trade like a $100 or $200 account, and respect it. Trade it with the right habits, the way you would trade a larger account. And once you trust yourself and you can prove to yourself that you can stick to a plan, and you're seeing some steady results, some decent results, then up it, double the capital from 200 to 400. See how you go with that. Just slow increments. But yeah, you just need a solid plan, my friend. You'll come to these streams, you'll learn a lot about discipline, not chasing entries, like for instance this one. And discipline is the key. So the good thing is you're not alone. A lot of people have gone through the same. I feel it's like a prerequisite in the journey becoming a decent trader, a competent, consistent trader, is going through that phase at the start of just blowing accounts and doing all that stupid shit, which you get out of your system, you become sick of it, and you learn to respect yourself, respect the plan, and do things right. So that's what I would recommend, my friend. But yeah, just stick to the stream, you'll learn a lot. If you want to learn a little bit more, you're welcome to think about VIP. Yeah, so, but more importantly, just hang around here and you'll pick up a lot just by being on the stream. Emothio, I think risk management is very important. It definitely is. And also that is, again, that should all be in your plan. For me, it's all, once again, it's all here, the whole thing. The course videos, it's all in that. I've got sections on risk management. I went over risk management yet again yesterday on the education session for one of our newer members. We spoke briefly about it. So it is definitely important, and I'm one, as you guys see, I like to manage my trades in drawdown. I don't let it hit full stop loss. I just don't believe in letting it hit full stop loss. I try to keep my losses small. Sometimes it's to my own detriment, but more often than not, it saves myself from taking a bigger loss. So I gave some pretty sound advice yesterday in the education session as to how we can minimize our losses. And that particular gentleman said he's going to try it out and see how the results go. So I've got many different ways when it comes to risk management. Steve, best advice, stick with Justin. You will learn, be patient, profitable trader. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for your support. AA, or AAA. Your channel should explode. I don't know why your views are low. Appreciate it, my friend. Again, it will happen. It will happen in next year. Next year will be a big year. Next year I'm going just all out. I've got plans, like I mentioned yesterday. I've got someone who's going to be helping me out, making sure it's directed to the right traffic. I'll probably do a few more videos in between, so like on the weekends and things as well. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, guys, we all want to, you know, we're here for the same reasons. We want to become better traders, more consistent and competent traders. It's also a good place just to chill, to learn a bit, hang out with, you know, people, like-minded people. I don't claim to be a guru or anything. I'm not saying I'm the best trader in the world, but what I am saying is I'm good at what I do. I understand what I do, and I'm pretty good at teaching other people about what I do. So it's definitely, I know for a fact I've helped so many become much better traders. And for me, that's a massive, I love it. I really love seeing the results. So all right, JJ, see, now I would trust the buys a little bit more if we pull back to retest this 193.20 and form a support above it. We'd definitely start to trust the buys more, because at least we've got the confirmation of that higher high within the current daily candle. We're staircasing above, back up after tapping into the 4-hour support. Not only that, we would have retested a zone, grab some more liquidity from the downside, since we've not really pulled back at all since the lows. Then I could potentially look for buys from the support. So again, this isn't bad. If this makes a clean move up and doesn't necessarily tap in, but does then pull back to that previous resistance, I would start to trust the buys a lot more. A lot more. And gold, for the time being, we just need to wait and see how it reacts now. Well, how this candle closes first of all. Gonna check one thing out. So for me, I know I'm a boring trader because I'm not looking at 5-minute charts every second trying to find an entry on 1-minute chart, or, you know, I have these pairs up here, but that's just to save me typing in every 2 seconds if someone requests anything. But I don't, you know, go looking for a signal. Not like that dude who wears a mask who tries to call trades on a million different pairs. Takes 50+ pip stop losses. So his loss is like 50+ pips. Because to be honest, the average person, if they did that, they wouldn't be able to hold on for more than 15, 20 maybe. And they definitely hold on to the losses though. That's the thing. Whereas for me, I don't hold on to the losses. Yes, sometimes they're bigger than the wins, but not all that often. But I definitely teach you guys how to fish away from the stream by yourself. We don't need 10 entries a day. We need to look for 1, maybe 2, maximum 3 quality entries of a day. That's all you need, trust me. Said it many times. I could trade 15 to 20 times a month and have a better return than the average trader who's trading 40, 50+ times. You don't need to keep trading. You don't need to be involved always in the markets. Just wait for the optimal time. Derek, all good, mate. You're more than welcome. Just hang around. You'll learn a heap about patience and discipline. So EU would not be presenting at the moment. GU likewise still pulling back. Still think they're valid entries if it begins to break. The hourly close this week bullish, it could be a valid entry and a break of that candle's low, and GU EU might need to wait for a little bit more of a confirmation. It's just pure consolidation right now. Yeah, so EU at the moment, in my opinion, is not quite ready. May have been involved in a sell a little bit earlier and been stuck in a bit of drawdown. But if you're not involved, I think right now you just need to wait for a price to clear consolidation for the sell confirmation for the buyers. Not the greatest deal of margin to the upside. Going to be a little bit difficult, in my opinion, to look for the buy option. I'd rather just see how price reacts to this resistance. All right, so potentially got the bullish engulfing. Whoops. Is that someone trying to talk? All right, so once again, this is a potential signal within price action. My issue is, again, guys, we're tapping into a target though. There's no margin. But this is what I call the pause candle. If this candle closed about 5 pips above, and what normally I'd have is a valid limit order buy at the high of that bearish candle, so long as I had some margin to the left. The issue is we've tapped into the target just here within the catalyst candle, so we could potentially now reject. The 30-minute looks better. $30-minute definitely looks better. But I can't deny the fact that we're already tapped into a target here on the 15. So unfortunately it means, again, I just need to wait. If it rejects, so I can look for the buys lower down. And if it pumps the upside, not a problem. I can look for the sells from higher up. Right now we're right in the middle as well of the 30-minute range. We're also in the top third of the 4-hour range. And not had a real pullback just yet. So once again, if it's sub-optimal, don't expect me to jump in. It doesn't mean it's not an entry for you guys. If it ticks the box for you guys, by all means. But for me, right now, it's just not. Abdul, good morning to you, mate. That was appreciate your questions yesterday, the education session. I hope you took a bit from that. I think if we all learnt a fair bit, so. Abdul, did you miss anything today? Thanks for your answer. Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, for the members who weren't on the call yesterday, it was recorded and uploaded, so definitely worth a watch. Not yet, mate, not yet. Was looking at potential JJ buys just here, but decided to just stay out of it. Would have been a break even by the end of it, either way. But since made the move, and right now, potential pause play. I mean, let's see, did it close significantly enough above? Did it close 5 pips above? No, only 3. So technically, once again, in accordance to the rule for the pause play, which is somewhere in here, it's technically not valid. But not only that, either way, it's tapped into target, so it's not valid. Based off that, it's in itself. So in GJ, I still prefer the sells. We are technically still bearish, the bias. So I could look for the sells if it makes the impulse to the upside. fantastic. Going to look for my options to sell from higher up. And I would trust the buys though if it does pull back now and form support above this previous resistance. It starts to pop below it, a bit like so. And we might potentially be able to get involved in some sell options as well. That's GJ. Gold was lining up sells just here, but what I want to see is the candle pull back, create the upper wick, retest the zone and begin to pull away. Obviously it's got no upper wick, it just dropped, so I wasn't involved in that as well. Now what you could look for is to see within this catalyst candle, was there a retest? Time frame to do so is the 5 minute. We don't have it, so we've got the closure below, but we've not even had a retest within the 30-minute catalyst candle itself on the 5. So my guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. So therefore, this candle definitely needs to pull back and retest for me to validate the entry. And again, it's just my rules, guys. What works for me doesn't mean it's not an entry for someone else. I'm going to keep an eye on this 15-minute candle and the 30-minute closure, just to see if we do reject. We're at a previous support here to the left. We are still bearish in structure. Could we have just grabbed a little bit more liquidity from the upside before the session opened, before we end up coming back down? So we're going to keep a little bit of an eye on potential GJ sells for London Open. Potential. Runs, do I think 25.97 a valid buy on gold? 25.97. As far as the potential zone to buy it off, yeah, potentially. You're looking at this previous resistance, but obviously for me, I can't just buy it as soon as it taps in. The only way I can buy it on a tap in is the 4 hour into the 4 hour zone. Again, that's for those of you who follow me for a while, you know what I'm talking about, where price just pulls back or drops down without the upper wick into the 50% of that zone. Knowing the data that I've gathered over the past 12 months or so, suggests to me usually at 50% of the 4 hour zone, price reacts to it bouncing up enough to give me TP1. So that would be the only way I'd consider any sort of cowboy buys, limit order buys. Otherwise, definitely keen for a closure below. That's where it could potentially form a support at. And maybe later on today, you would start to get your catalyst to look for a buy from that point. Still far off it. Yeah, that was a nice trade. For me, it's not an aggressive trade at all. That trade you took yesterday, that's a very good trade, quality trade, especially considering you use the confluence of the break of the 15-minute minor support within that 30-minute Alice candle, that minor support formed on the 15. You had a long wick rejection back into the range above. That's just here. So within that 30-minute candle, you had a minor 15-minute pause. Then you took the entries that broke that candle's low, breaking a 15-minute low. For me, it's a quality entry, mate. That's a really good entry. That's something I would definitely look for if it presented in front of me, especially, you know, even today. I'd definitely look for that type of scenario to take an entry. So keep an eye out for that to happen more often. And the good thing is, mate, you're going about it the right way. You're getting involved, you're sending in your charts on both your winning and losing trades. Is the best way to get feedback. Best way. And then you're going to learn, right, that is a good entry. So if I see that happening again, it's fine to take the entry. And it doesn't mean it's going to work every single time, but it might work 8 times out of 10. And on the trades that don't win, I've like 1 or 2 of them I said to you are not bad entries, just a little bit unfortunate. 1 or 2 of them might be slightly off timing with the entry point. The best way to get feedback is just keep sending in the charts, mate. So good on you for that. That is what I did when I was learning. Journaling is very important. There was M15 support and price was not bad. Where was this? Was GJ, was it? Yeah, it's wick below it though. I can see what you mean, but it's definitely wick below it, and you're entering basically below that point. And you're still entering below the 15-minute support as well. I still think it's a solid entry. So we can maybe look at it a little bit more later if you're on for the MI call. BJ's looking not too bad. Now, the one issue is it could just bounce off this zone. So, I mean, the preference would be for it to close pretty much where it is just now, create the upper wick. And as soon as it taps into this point, you just get to break even. Knowing that it could reject, it could just be retesting before it forms support. But knowing also that it's London open volume, it could break through it, but we don't obviously have the confirmation, so it is risky. And if it drops much further, then it could even tap in on this candle, to be honest. So something to perhaps keep a bit of an eye on. The stop loss about 20 odd pips. And the hourly doesn't look bad for entries below the hourly low. But I kind of feel we probably better to get involved a little bit earlier. All right, could be almost ready to tap in on the current candle. If that's the case, then yeah, we may need to wait.
So GUs also rejecting again. So we have a lot of on the M30 time frame, a lot of wicks to the upside.
Yeah.
So maybe grabbing liquidity to go down.
Yeah, potentially. Still in consolidation though. GU's a little bit behind. Gold.
If it could close, more or less a little bit deeper like now, and then leaving a wick.
Correct.
To the down. So this maybe could be an entry point.
Yeah, I agree. Just a smaller wick would be okay, and then an up wick. Yeah, it's definitely looking pretty good. GJ very close to this zone right now. Looks like we may even tap in. All right, so gonna be a change of plan likely on GJ. We want this to close in the next minute and 40 seconds really strong, preferably around, well, even below the blue zone, and then look for a pause on the following 15-minute candle. And then potentially it could be options. Too close to sell into this level. You've got like not even a pip below it once you count for spread. So I'd rather at this point just wait. Rather just to wait and see how price reacts to it. The hourly looks okay on an impulse entry as it breaks the previous hourly low. I don't have the 30-minute engulfing. I've got a high low. I've got a 15-minute engulfing. So my only concern is this level right now. Are we going to bounce off it? Okay. All right, so this is fine. This is good.
Yeah, GG is also engulfing on the M30.
Yeah, it's looking okay. I mean, for me, I'm gonna wait and see how the new candle forms. Could potentially get some sells, guys. The better option is waiting for a 15-minute pause. Stop loss is going to be quite wide. That's the issue. Even off the 15, you're still looking at need a decent upper wick. Don't have, once again, that's way too quick for me to get involved. Pulls back up, breaks its own high. Like for it to pull back up a little bit more, seeing its session open. All right. 174. Gonna look for a sell at 160. Stop loss above the 15. Can manage it if it breaks its own high yet again. So back below, the entry will be back below that range. We've had it basically bearish engulfing M30. We've closed the hourly back bearish as well. Long rejection wick into this support here to the left. So I feel if we were to break our own low yet again with the London Open volume, it could be a pretty solid entry. Still 9. All right, just being triggered. Fair bit of volume. Just going to adjust stop loss to, well, first of all, I'm going to screenshot this so I can send it into the members group after. Just going to, whoops, just going to adjust stop loss to a little bit above the entry candles high. It's around that 315. All right.
Hi, Justin.
G'day, mate.
Good day. How is it going?
All good. Sorry, I'm just getting to break even. Got 6 and a bit pips on the table.
That's looking good.
If it doesn't take me up prior to it, but still session open volume. So there we go. 8 pips, guys. Oh, you're gonna take me out. I was close to closing half. How are you going, mate?
So,
Are you in EU or still just in this?
yeah, I'm in EU. It missed, my stop loss was missed by like a point or so.
Yeah.
So it tapped me in, then did the crazy reversal, like almost touched me out, but now it came back down again. So
Nice. So I'm
let's
looking
see
at
how
SEC. Looks like I'm gonna get tagged out. So close to break even. Oof. So close to break even. Still just in it. EU, yeah, it's still pulling back each time. I'm gonna
yeah.
definitely get taken out. Looks likely. I'm still in it, guys. I've still got now. Oof, hold on. Now I've got 5 pips on the table. 6. There you go. Oh man, what a turn of events. There you go. I've closed half, and there's your 10. Done it. The winning streak is still intact. It was within 0.4 of a pip of hitting break even. I shit you not, guys. And some of you may have been taken out. It all depends on spread. IC markets, thank you very much for not taking me out.
This time it went good.
So close. So close to being taken out break even. Nice one.
I secured before some profits at 5.9.
Yep. Okay, fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
It's number 8 in a row. And November is turning out to be yet another solid month. Alrighty, guys. Franz, breaking ready. Marvi, well done, mate. Joe, nice one. Good. Well done, guys. Yeah, so now I've been taken out. Oh, close. Abdul, break even for me. Tough one, mate. Tough one. I was within, honestly, 0.4 of a pip. What am I looking at on gold? Yeah, for me, it's nothing on gold at the moment.
Yeah, and GU and EU is that they don't know where to go.
Very much. Yeah, just it's a terrible price action they are producing.
Yeah, the open.
Yeah.
Very choppy price action, absolutely no direction, consolidation. So what that means is likely it's going to make eventually a clean move. It's grabbing some liquidity at the current level, but yeah, very difficult at the moment.
Yeah.
How are you going about managing this?
If this one will give me would make some reasonable move, we'll just close it.
Yep.
Close the trade. I don't know. But as of now, I'm just resolved into losing it. Whatever happens to it.
Yep. Well, that's it. You're accepting of your risk.
Yeah. But it was a great setup.
I agree,
So,
to be honest.
Whatever happens to it, it is what it is.
Yep. That's fair enough. All you can do is trade your plan, and that's one thing that you and Franco are. I mean, within the group, you guys are fantastic at doing it. You're sending in your charts pre-session, and then nearly every time, unless you get distracted or you're not on the chart for it, you're more often not executing on your plan. And then the result usually follows. It's not always a win, but the majority of the time it is. That's all you can do. I mean, looking at gold now, so obviously now it looks like we'll make the move, but all good. Just a quick 10. All right, so the reason why I took that entry, guys, it did not quite close back below, but what we did have was the hourly closing bearish with a long wick to the upside, rejecting some of the support to the left. We also had that 30-minute engulfing candle. But what was my cue in this situation? My real signal was just pure price action of the entry candle itself. So take note. What happened is, obviously, price at the open popped straight down a little bit. So we know, based off that it's created a low wick. It doesn't necessarily need to pull back and break its own low again if it starts to create the upper wick and pull back into the range above. Seeing a session open, that potentially could be the lower wick, and then we could end up pulling back above that support, respecting that support, and head back up to retest the highs. However, if we pull back up like we did into the range above, only to reject and break our own low yet again, what that suggests to me is what we have likely have done is just grabbed a little bit more liquidity once again from the upside from this range above, and if we were to break our own low with the clean traffic to the left, popping back down into the range below the resistance we had recently broken out of, there's a high probability that we will make a clean move back down. So that's what it's based off, more so this actual London open candle than anything else, in all honesty. Pure price action within the current candle, London open candle. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Once again, free education. Pay attention to it if you see that happen. at a level of interest, you're likely going to get a nice signal to take your entry. So if anyone held gold a little bit longer, you're looking really GJ, sorry, looking really good now. So I used to try, I don't think I traded GJ for a few weeks now, so nice one. Good to get a W on GJ. That takes November. Once again, shit start. 3 losses and 3 break-evens to start the month. 8 wins since 8 in a row. There you go. Joey took it earlier at 7 AM. Nice one. He took the buy option. That fine, it was valid. Good work. Good work, my friend. Well done. Nice work. Alright, so it's making a move just now. And that, obviously, session open, the volume's there. It could easily now pop down to the lows. All good. And don't stress it, guys. If you didn't get in the trade, there's always another trade around the corner. There's no need to get FOMO.
Well, I'm in a GU sell right now.
Yep, looking good. Looking really good. Has it broke its own low again?
Yeah.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah. 3 pips.
Yeah, this is looking really good. It's consolidated enough for a while to suggest that maybe it's ready to make a move.
And these wick to the other side. So
yeah, constant rejection.
Yeah. So I will take maybe some partials.
Yeah, it's looking good. What I think of EuroCAD Mothio is a currency pair I'm considering trading next year. I used to trade it. From memory, it's a really nice trending cross. So what I'd be looking for at the moment, this is looking really good. Similar to GU, but I probably want to see a little bit of a pause right now. I mean, it's still a valid entry for focus on low, current candle. The stronger entry will be if this candle closed as is, and then you took the entries that broke below, rejecting that 4-hour resistance. But you could pretty much potentially take an entry as it breaks on low again. But personally, I'd be waiting for, well, this 15 is about to close. Really nice entry. Upper wick on the new M15 as it breaks low of this candle. There's your entry. If it were me. Perfect. I'd set a sell stop now just below. Stop loss probably above the 15 or just above the resistance. And that's what I would look at personally.
I'm out at BE.
Yep, fair enough. You got the 15-minute open, it's pulling back a little bit, so yeah, doesn't need to continue to pull back. I mean, it's left multiple wicks into this consolidation, long wicks to the upside, so once again, it suggests with grab liquidity. I don't feel we keep needing to pull back if we were to continue bearish. Still a good chance it could make the move, but you might need to let it reset again.
And then on the M50, as you see here, we have on the left side some support, and maybe it's bouncing back.
Yep, just there.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Therefore, I set to PE and I'm safe right now.
you're actually out at break even, or you're set?
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I
Okay.
was 3.1 in profit, then I said BE,
Okay,
and out at BE.
fair enough. Euro CAD, interesting. See if it would work. Again, it's not a signal, guys. I'm not trading it. But if it was GJ or gold, that's what I'd be looking at. Evo Salto, good morning to you, mate. All good, mate. All good. Hope you're well. Missed out on London Open fun. Just got the W on GJ before it took me out break even. So again, picking up where we left off last week. Last week was a really solid week, and so far, good start to the new week. Joe, all good, mate. All good. I'll hopefully catch you on the stream tomorrow. Emothio, all good, mate. Bouncing off, so not sure. You probably would have been, may have been triggering. I'm not sure, depending on spread. Evo Salto, yeah, it did. Took partials. It did drop to the 10. Got within 0.4 of taking me out break even after being 8.5 pips up. But I was lucky. Just managed to secure. I'm back down, I secured and then popped back up and then dropped again. London Open.
Was a good decision to get out of this trade.
Pulling back again.
So now it's going up
Yeah.
again. So
Maybe it's just not ready.
yeah.
I think it's quite a solid of an entry though. As far as the signal.
Right now, I think GU will trying to fool us. Also,
Yeah,
EU.
it's yeah, EU also very similar. The majors must be the same across the board. It's going on fast ball today. JP Morgan maintains its multi-year bullish outlook on gold, forecasting prices to rise towards 3,000 next year. Yeah, I'm in total agreement. To be honest, I think gold will eventually, I've been vocal about it. I think gold will get to 5+K in the future. It doesn't mean next year, but looking maybe 3 years down the track or so, 5 years down the track. What's it saying here on the Aussie? AUD slammed? Yeah, of course. Of course, anything that affects China negatively affects the Aussie dollar big time. So how's it going, guys? Anyone else currently running any trades? If so, let me know. Anyone looking at any potential trades? If so, let me know. I'll do my best to give you my thoughts on it. For me, gold right now, it's a little bit similar to the majors, just got a little bit more volume, so it's shifted a little bit more, but it's not really giving us any sort of hint as to what direction it wants to trend in at the moment. Not yet retested this 4-hour support. We have trickled down to it slowly. I don't see any real solid confirmation to take an entry. I mean, you could look at this saying it's potentially going to close a bullish engulfing candle. one concern, it's not yet pulled back to tap into that 4-hour support, so it could just be a little bit of a pause within price action before it eventually heads back down to that point. Another concern is we just retested that consolidation, the support just above the consolidation, just below the consolidation, sorry, and we could easily just reject and come back down as well. So I'm definitely not convinced by gold at the moment. What I'd likely want to see in this sort of scenario is some clean moves within the range to open up to more probable entries. So something potentially like so, nice clean move up, rejection, and then you're playing within the clean candles on a potential move back down. And once again, if it pops down below the current daily candles low, we've got some very clean traffic to the left, so it's nothing wrong waiting until below 26.05. DJ correcting as well yet again. Mr. Phil, yeah, it is what it is. At least you followed your plan.
That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, correct.
And sometimes the markets just decide to
Go against you.
go against you.
Exactly.
Nothing big.
Exactly. It's just part of the game, isn't it? Just need to accept.
Yeah.
It's how it all works. Abdul, why did you not GJ breakout in M30? GJ breakout in M30? Are you talking about here? Earlier? Or you... This one here? First of all, it's not a breakout. It's breakout. I mean, again, this is being really technical, but by definition, breakout is in an uptrend when price creates a higher high, and when a downtrend, price creates a lower low. So yeah, it's more of a zone to zone type of entry. My concern was that we came from the lows without a pause. I was considering it. I did mention it. If you were on at the beginning of the stream, I was saying that this candle, if it popped down, reject, and broke its own high again, because it did pop up fractionally at the open, breaking high of the previous candle before rejecting. The issue was I flicked to gold, and when I flipped back, this candle went from here to here within a split second. So it skipped like probably 5 to 10 pips. So I decided not to bother. I decided to wait and stay out, waiting for a pause. Didn't eventuate. Did come back down. Did go back up. It probably would have been a break even, in all honesty, because it got to about 8 pips, I think, before it came back into drawdown. So I likely would have been stopped out break even before it eventually made the move. But yeah, if you ask me, is it a valid entry? Yeah, valid entry. But something was telling me at the time not to rush into it. Maybe just wait a little bit longer. But yes, it is technically valid based on a zone to zone entry, based on the fact that you've broken a resistance formed just above the 4-hour support. You also retested that previous level, similar to the entry to the downside, popped up, then popped back down, then popped back up to break its own high again. So that would suggest it's grabbed a little bit, it's seeing it's created the upper wick first and then pop back down, then seeing it's created the upper wick doesn't necessarily need to pull back and break its own high. And if it did, after rejecting, bouncing off this previous resistance, then as it broke, there's a high probability. So as it broke, so it was around there roughly, there'd be a high probability that it would make a move to the upside. But yeah, I just decided to stay out of it at that point. Once again, I'm not fussed because I know if I miss something, I'm not yet 100% convinced. There's likely going to be another opportunity. Eventually got it. Yeah, just a couple candles later.
Okay, that's got you go.
No worries,
See you
mate.
guys
I'll be
later.
on. I'll be on later if you're about for MI. Otherwise, I'll catch you about it later on. Take care, my friend.
Proceed. Okay.
Yeah, take
thank you,
care.
man.
Bye, Mr. Phil.
Thank you, Franco. You too.
Yeah, thank you.
See you, brother. Wow, look at your CAD now. So it's just a pause at the moment. That's just how it is. Not always gonna turn out the way you analyze. Again, I'm not sure if it would have been triggered into any trade, but now the buyers look back on the table. DJ a little bit indecisive within the London Open candle. Pretty much corrected the majority of the move to the downside. Mothio. GU taps area 580, not breaking. I took a potential sell. What do you think? 580. This resistance. Well, yeah, it's definitely a level I'd like to get involved in a sell, but for me, I'd rather wait for a bit of a confirmation to sell it. So that's just me personally. So my confirmations, my signals, that is definitely some sort of resistance to form yet again. Because if we do tap in, what we may have done just now is create the higher low. And if that's to be the case, we may tap in, we may even break and close above that level, and I will not want to be caught in that. So I'd rather wait for a confirmation. That would be obviously some resistance to formed at that level, and then look to see how that resistance is formed. Have I got a catalyst either on the closure of the 30 or definitely on the closure of the 30? But I mean, if it's just based on a 30-minute candle, maybe it's a bearish engulfing candle. Maybe we've got a 15-minute engulfing. Maybe we've got minor support. For instance, there's plenty of different catalysts I can look towards to validate an entry. And the more you watch the streams, the more you'll pick up on those. But as far as just a pure entry, if price taps into it, it's not something I do. I have one particular entry that is basically very similar to that. But in this case, it will not be valid because it's not a 4-hour resistance. So that requires price to tap into a 4-hour resistance, and that is actually a little bit higher up. So these gray zones you see on my screen are the 4-hour levels. And what I'd probably just do is drag it up. And the only time that impulse entry for me is valid, using this as the 4-hour resistance, using a fib, marking a 50%. If price approaches this level without the upper wick, without lower wick, so similar to what it's doing just now in this candle, pops just straight up and taps into that level, I'd be looking for potential sell options, because from what I've seen, my data suggests that more often than not, when we tap into 50% of the 4-hour zone, price tends to react to it enough to get to the point where you can get TP1. Doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to reject and continue down. Sometimes it ends up closing bullish above, but either way, I've only taken one loss on this trade this year. I've not traded it much, to be honest, maybe about 6-7 times, because it's just not always valid. It doesn't always, come up while I'm on the charts. But when it does, it's tend to have worked a lot. When I did the back testing on it last holidays, last New Year's, Christmas holiday break last year, it worked something like 9 out of 10 times. It would have been break even, but in this situation it's not valid because it's 30-minute zone. Right, so I've had 30 closure. DJ is becoming a little bit of a mess at the moment. There is nothing in my opinion on GJ. Gold as well, nothing at the moment. Nice rejection of that zone. So that, again, that was my concern. Why I was not convinced about buying it, because it could reject that level. Nor would I be convinced about selling it at the moment, because you just don't really have the margin. Not going to be worth it. You're going to have a wide stop loss. I'd rather just chill, let it make some clean moves. Lois, good day to you. What is your win rate this November? Out of 20 days, trading days. This November, I mentioned it not long ago, started badly. Started with 3 losses and 3 break evens, and I've won 8 in a row since. So 8 wins, 3 losses, 3 break evens. And the win rate this year is just over 80% in general, the total win rate. It'd be pretty much around that 80. It's similar to the win rate, similar with the members group as well when we're on the MY course. Maybe a little bit less the MY session. October was basically the exact same as this month. Started badly. Started with that. I think it was very similar. I'm pretty sure it was 3 losses and at least 2 break evens before I took a win. And after that, it was very similar. I hardly lost for the rest of the month. So it just goes to show you don't deviate from what works for you. Just because you start the month badly or you have a couple of losses in a row doesn't mean it's broke. You don't have to fix nothing. My issue was at the beginning of this month, I was trying to use probably intuition a little bit too much, and I was bending my rules a little bit, trying to get involved around the volume, around session open, only to get wrecked. So when I stopped doing that and stopped trading what I think would happen and reacting to what I see happen, and trading again my rules, it's all in, all in here. And it's true, it's all there. And that's when everything changed. So it's been a really good month in the end. Last week was, I think, was to look back at the stats. I'm pretty sure last week may be my best week of the year. Once again, I don't trade as much as some of the other guys, but I don't need to. That's why I just stick to quality. Don't need to trade 5 times a day, 2 times, 3 times a day. Sometimes I will trade 2 or 3 times a day, but a lot of the time it'll be once, or sometimes twice, and sometimes 0 if there's nothing, like yesterday. I don't want to be dictated by charts. I'm not just going to sit here until I get a potential entry, if that makes sense. Like yesterday, couldn't get an entry on stream. Wasn't interested in looking at the charts during MY. I don't trade Monday, so just because I didn't trade during London session doesn't mean I bend the rules and right, today I'll trade MY instead. Once again, in this game, less is more. Puts less stress on your capital, less stress on yourself as well. I get it. Like, some people get addicted to the adrenaline rush by being involved in a trade. I don't know. For me, I'm just as happy not to be involved if it's not quality, to be honest. There's no panic, no need to always be involved. Discipline is key, guys, definitely. All right. Alrighty then. Yeah, so let's do some quick analysis. Let's maybe conclude. I don't think we're going to get anything anytime soon, to be honest. Gold for me, what would be really nice is if we now do tap into this for our support and see how we've just rejected that resistance. If we start to pop about between this 26.19 and 26.10 and then perhaps break above it, then we could probably start looking for buy options back above that 26 sort of 20 level. Obviously further sell options below 26.05. We've got some very clean traffic to the left hand side of that. Definitely love to get my way in at that point. It doesn't mean I just sell stop right now, because I want to see how price approaches. I need to wait for a closure blow. The other option would be if it does reject, so if we make maybe even a move back down only to pull back up and reject 26.18, 26.19, and you could potentially look for sells upon the rejection at that point there. But right now we need to open this range up again, because it's starting to chop about. You're leaving well, first of all, it's not much margin. It's looking right in the 15, so if this 15 came back down to retest, right, that clean move down, I need to bounce back up, then I trust the sells from higher up. Would I trust the buys from lower down? Not without a very, very strong catalyst. So look for your signal candles, such as bullish engulfing on the 30, long wick rejections into the zone, even into the range below, need to close back above support. For instance, on the 30, that could give you an option that would also close likely a 15-minute bullish engulfing. That is gold. Need to wait right now. GJ, similar, probably wanted to pull back, create the move down to the 4-hour support before looking for options to buy it yet again. Buys above the high, bit tricky now because you don't have the margin to that 4-hour resistance, so you're probably best just to wait and see how price reacts to it for potential sells. And if it does now, so we can now probably remove this zone, by the way, guys. We've broken through it and way up, we've broken through it and closed below and way down. So I just shift this now. Could add another zone here, and this is the current range within the 4-hour zone. So this is the 4-hour support, that's 30-minute resistance. Price did pop back up only to reject. Could be options to potentially sell it back down. So I prefer to sells on GJ unless we're buying it from the support at this rate. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. Any questions, guys? Abdul? I'm undecided on that, to be honest, mate. That's something I put so much work into. To be honest, it's supposed to be separate from the members. You guys get the videos. That's all part of it. Like, these videos are the same videos that are in the course videos. This is the course. This is just the PDF version. I still want to do some updates, but I'll think about it. I'll think about how I'm gonna distribute that if I do amongst the members, to be honest. Oh, shit. Yeah, anyway, guys, hopefully that makes sense on both gold and GJ. So once again, guys, good session. Stuck to the rules and got the W on GJ. Some of you were able to secure some profits, so well done. Tomorrow I'll be on, same time as always, guys. If you'd like to know any more info, or you can find all the links and everything down below. Make sure to follow me on IG for regular updates. Also a little insight into some personal things as well. Yeah, so make sure to give me a follow on IG. and join the free Discord group if you're not already involved, guys. You can find a link into, no, it's not pinned to the top of this chat, in the description below as well. Should be working, guys. Yeah, members, I'll see you guys later for NY, probably about an hour and a half, probably about an hour and a half pre NY, hour and a half before the open.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, guys. And YouTube,
See you.
see you, mate. YouTube, cheers for the support as always. Look forward to catching you all tomorrow. Trade safe, don't do anything stupid, and I'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Bye guys, cheers.